And you're live. Hey everyone, can you hear me? Okay. Awesome. So I'm notification to go out and for people to come and all this stuff. So we'll wait just a few minutes before we officially start. How is everybody doing in this crazy time? Adam, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Can everyone hear Adam okay?
Testing.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag, so.
There's about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Aw, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yay, we got lots of people coming. Even the people from Asia. I know it's so late right now in Asia. And we always end up with this dilemma, right? Like, we can't schedule a live at a time where it works for everybody. And I always end up giving up on Asia because especially now like that, because to make it a reasonable time in Asia, it would be nighttime here, and nighttime right now with the baby is just a no-go for me. Like nighttime routine and getting baby in bed, it's just a no-go. So awesome. Thank you. Oh wow, South Korea. Oh, thank you, Josh. Thank you for your super chat. Okay, it is 10:30. I think I got some people now. First order of business. I want to introduce you to Baby Khan. He's in a good mood right now, so it's good that we do this now before that changes. So let me just. Hey, come here. Hey, Baby Khan. Ta-da! Hello, everyone. Say hi. Hi. No, so confused. He can't say hi. I promise you. Hi.
That hair.
I know he can say hi, but of course he won't say it just when I want him to say it. So this is Baby Khan. He is just turned 1 year old not too long ago. He's Hi. You said hi. Good job, baby. He's huge. He's very heavy. He's a very big boy. He's walking now. Just started walking about a month ago. Lots of words. What else is he doing? He's eating pretty well. He's got some favorites. Like he loves sweet potato. He loves zucchini. What does he like? He loves lime. I thought I gave him a slice of lime thinking I was going to get like a funny reaction video. Turns out he devoured it completely. He just loves sour, and he loves sour food. I had raspberries that were way too sour and I gave it to him just to see if he'd like it. And he devoured that too. He likes plain yogurt with nothing added to it. So it's like a real Thai baby, like sour foods. Yeah. Well, thank you for your cooperation. I have to, he does look like his dad, very much so. I'm going to let him go now, even though. Do you want to go or do you want to hang out? Oh, let's hang out for a little bit. He's in a good mood. No? Let's take advantage of him being in a good mood. Yes, that's a microphone. So the premise of this live stream is that we were scheduled to film this weekend. But of course, as you know, with everything that's happening right now, social distancing and self-isolation is probably wise. Adam has been traveling a bit for work. So he needs to be sort of quarantined. And when we film, it's like there's no ventilation in the place. Like we shut everything's closed. And so, and there's like shared foods and all that stuff. So we thought it's probably just wise to not do that. My husband was also sick last week. Doesn't look like he has COVID, but just to be safe. So, okay, he's getting really heavy. So I'm going to have him say goodbye. Say bye-bye. Bye. Okay, guys, Baby Khan is going. Bye. Okay. He clearly wanted to be on the live stream. I feel really bad now. He wanted to be on the live stream. Anyway, he's good. He's good. He stopped crying. By the way, for those of you who are on Instagram and you want like more baby stuff, I do have a mom account at pailin.chong. So you can check that out. I post baby photos and updates on my mom life. Okay. Poor baby. Shall we start, Adam? So the way we're going to do this is I've got some questions that I've taken from people who are not going to be here. So they submitted questions ahead of time on social media, and then there's questions coming live from you guys. So we'll alternate. We'll do one pre-questions and then one live questions. And Adam is working on the live questions and fielding them to me. So if I don't answer your questions, it's his fault.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, before we go ahead, I do want to say this, given like the times that we are experiencing right now with COVID and all that stuff. I know we are all supposed to stay home and all this stuff, but remember that restaurant takeouts are still available. And having worked in restaurants, I know that every day of revenue is important, especially for small businesses. And some restaurants will not make it through this. Like they will not make it through this without your support. So if there's a place that's local to you that that you do not want to see them go out of business, please continue to go get takeout from them. I prefer takeout over delivery because, delivery is like one more person in the chain that, you don't know if they wash their hands. So if you show up at the restaurant, you just pick up the bag and then you minimize the amount of contact people have with your food. And hot food is safe because the virus dies in hot food. So I don't know, like maybe if you're really nervous, stay away from salads for now. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about restaurants because I do worry about a lot of them. So I think I have to explain what's behind me. So this is a climbing wall, and somebody asked earlier if I boulder. So this is actually, I used to boulder, but my husband is the one who is an avid rock climber. So when we got this new place, there's this blank wall, and he said he wanted to build a wall for Khan so he can climb it. But since Khan can't climb it right now, he just this is basically his little workout wall. I used to boulder with Craig in the beginning, but then my husband's such an avid rock climber that when we went together, he'd want to stay for like 3-4 hours and I'd be done after 1. So then I didn't keep going because I'd be like, can we go yet? But yes, I used to. I enjoyed it. It's a good workout. Okay, let's start with the questions. So I'm going to start first from questions for my Patreon supporters. So these are we're going to start with the pre-question, and then Adam has some live questions ready for me. Okay, so Timothy Doty, I don't know how to pronounce that. Timothy says he's growing black pepper vine in his Florida garden. That's really cool. And he wants to know what he can use the bunches of fresh peppercorns for. So in a few of my recipes, I have used brined fresh peppercorns, so green peppercorns, basically before they turn into black pepper. And you can buy the stuff in brine, and we use that for stir fries and stuff. Or some places you can find it fresh too. He wants to know what you can do with it. What we do in Thai cuisine is we add like the whole sprig into stir fries and sometimes curries. And then the way that works is people just kind of like take off the little pepper berries and just eat it as they, for little like pops of pepperiness. You can just take them off the vines and grind them up, and they're really peppery and spicy. So you can do that. Yeah, stir fries and soups is what kind of we mostly use it for. But you can definitely take the berries off, mix them in. Okay, Adam, let's take a live question.
Sure. Well, actually, someone was asking for a substitute for shadowing wine, but neither of us know what that is. So,
shadowing wine?
Yeah, literally shadowing as in the shadow.
I wonder if they mean Shaoxing wine. which is the Chinese cooking wine. And I've heard that dry sherry is a good substitute, or sake is okay for that. But in a lot of recipes, you can just omit it and it'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. One more live questions from you?
Sure. What fruits and vegetables hold up well on the counter or fridge for over 2 weeks?
You know what always surprises me, like how long it lasts, is cauliflower. So basically for foods that last long, you want them to have as little moisture as possible. So the harder the vegetable, the less moist they are, the longer they tend to last. So things like carrots, cauliflower, like daikon, cabbage lasts forever in the fridge for some reason. So yeah, that's sort of my rule of thumb. Hard, sturdy vegetables tend to last longer.
Cool.
I saw a question earlier that is, I think, appropriate that I wanted to address. Somebody asked if there was a recipe that they could use using no fresh ingredients at all, because, you for whatever reason can't go to the store. No fresh ingredients. Immediately what I think about is fried rice, because you've got the rice with no meat, obviously. No meat, no vegetables. Just, hey, garlic fried rice. I just posted that recipe a couple weeks ago. So just rice, garlic, and all the seasoning is dry. Is garlic considered fresh? No, I don't think so. But worst comes to worst, there's garlic powder that you can use. So there you go. Fried rice is a good one. Fried noodles. You got noodles that last forever. Dried mushrooms is also a good vegetable, like dried shiitake mushrooms. Soak them in hot water for an hour until they soften, and then slice them. Add that to your fried rice or fried noodles. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Mushroom fried rice. There you go. Mushroom fried rice.
That was from Tom. I like that he called it a quarantine special.
There you go. Quarantine special. Dried shiitake mushroom fried rice with garlic powder. Okay. One more question that came from Patreon. I got somebody, John, said that he was given an Instant Pot and have yet to make stock in it. And he would like to know what ingredients I would use in chicken and vegetable stock if I were to make it in an Instant Pot. First of all, Instant Pot, I have one. And making stock is more or less the only thing I do with it now. I love it for making stock. With other foods, I kind of prefer the regular cooking, but for long braces like beef, things like that, and stock. Just love the stock. And you don't have to do anything different. Yeah, whatever you normally use for chicken stock, the exact same ingredients can go in. It just takes less time. I've never made a vegetable stock in an Instant Pot, but I don't imagine it would be any different. What I like about Instant Pot making stock is, one, because it's a closed system, you don't have like just hours of steam going on in your house, and then you worry about topping it up with water, making sure it doesn't dry out. So it's nice, and it's something that, like, it doesn't even look like anything is happening. It doesn't take up a space on your stove. You just put it in, few hours, off it goes. Okay, so that's the Instant Pot. I do have a couple of Instant Pot recipes if you want to check it out. Just do a search for Instant Pot on my website or YouTube channel. Okay, Adam, one more from you.
Sure, a similar thing from Jojo. Quick and easy recipes under 15 minutes.
See, when people say that, I'm always like, but does that count the prep? Because most people are going to so many things take less than 15 minutes to actually cook. Right? Like all the stir fries take less than 15 minutes to cook, but like prep, that's something else. I feel like if you were in a real rush, vegetables that don't require much cutting or like really fast to cut and do a stir fry of that can usually come quickly within like 15 minutes. Like I feel like my Brussels sprout salad will probably take less than 15 minutes. What else? Like sugar snap peas are great. If you buy the ones that have been deveined, then you can just kind of throw them in. I don't know. Stir fries of all sorts. Lap takes less than 15 minutes. There you go.
Mama instant noodles.
Mama instant noodles. There you go. Adam's sustenance.
My special.
Okay, here's another pre-question from Olivia. I love this question so much. I was really excited to answer it. Do you salt your rice, or is salting rice common in Thai cooking? I find that rice tastes a lot better with a little bit of salt, but usually don't add when cooking Thai because the entrees tend to be very salty already. No salt in rice. No nothing in rice. No butter, no salt, no nothing. If you're talking Asian food, like in Asia, rice is just rice. I remember in one of the videos, somebody said, "You don't put salt in your rice?" And I went, "You put salt in your rice?" um, and as she said, it's because in Asia, our entrees that we eat with rice are really flavorful, and it's designed to be served with plain rice. So if you salt the rice, I find it overkill. Sometimes the only time I salt the rice is if I were to make like a coconut rice or something like that. Or like not, like, if I were to make specifically not regular plain white rice. But in Asia across the board, no salt in rice or butter. Some people put butter in rice. Okay, Adam, one more from you.
Okay, multitasking. We all want to see Japanese pork cutlet with curry. When are you going to cook it?
Do we all want to see that? I don't know.
Oh, that's one of my favorite dishes.
I have a recipe for Japanese curry. So you just use that.
You're halfway there.
You're halfway there, and you just need to fry up some pork, which really, pretty simple. Flour, egg, panko, fry it up. Yeah. You're done.
Well, you say simple, talking to me, that's, that requires ingredients. That's just too much.
Adam doesn't do anything that involves cutting.
or adding things together. It's just too much work. How about a kapun recipe?
A what?
Haeoon.
Oh, kapun. That's like a Lao dish. I think that's a Lao rice vermicelli dish. I'm not well versed in that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think kapun is the Lao word for khanom jeen, which is the Thai rice noodles. And I have a couple of khanom jeen recipes already. So, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm confusing it for something. Maybe kapun is khanom jeen. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I have a couple of that. So instead of looking up kapun, look up khanom jeen, KANOMJEEN. I think I have 2 recipes for that. Okay. One pre-question. I love this question as well from Steve Carroll. Any suggestions for what to use coconut milk for besides curry and desserts? So much. Basically, you can use coconut milk for anything that you would use milk or cream for. So, soups, stir fries, you can add it in a stir fry as part of the sauce to make it a little creamy. I love making tomato sauce, like a Western style tomato sauce with a little bit of coconut milk added to it to add that creaminess. It's great. Smoothies with coconut milk is terrific. I use it in baby food a lot, actually. So Khan's eating more like finger food now, but back in the day when he was eating just mostly mush, I would like mash up some vegetables and just add like a splash of coconut milk, and it would give him fat, which, babies need the calories, and it would give it extra flavor and extra creaminess, and he loved it. So little splashes of that in baby food. You can use it in baked goods in place of milk. So like muffins, waffles. I have a Thai waffle recipe that uses coconut milk. You can use it in crepes, pancakes, all that stuff. Okay, Adam.
Leah asks, with this lockdown, social distancing, what are some key ingredients that I should stock up on? What are the ingredients that can be used from multiple recipes?
So I want to say, first of all, that if your grocery stores are remaining open, there's no need to like hoard things too much, right? Like if they're not, if the stores are still open, you can still go out and buy things if they're still there, of course. Like I don't know how it is in other places right now, but in Vancouver, if I go to a store, it's not the shelves are not empty. Like I can still get things, so I haven't really been hoarding anything. But anything shelf stable, right? Like rice, canned food, again, sturdy vegetables. Or if you want to buy greens like baby spinach, you can freeze those. So anything that you can freeze cheese, you can freeze baby spinach, baby greens. Obviously, then if you want to freeze greens, then you have to cook it. You can't eat it like a salad. Because once greens are frozen, it'll be mushy, but it would work still if you're cooking it in something. So oftentimes I keep like a bunch of frozen baby kale in the freezer, and I just throw that into soups, stews, whatever. Okay. One more question from the pre-questions. Wayne Parks is curious about a dish or two that I have deliberately decided not to make on my channel because it's either too challenging or the ingredients are nearly impossible to source outside of Thailand to make it authentically. There are a couple that I can think of. One is fermented Thai sausage. That one, it's more like a liability issue. So fermented Thai sausage, basically you take fresh raw ground pork, you put seasoning in it, and then you just let it sit at room temperature to ferment for a couple of days until it's sour. Basically, like pork is gone bad in a good way. But if you don't do it properly, it can make you sick. So I'm just worried about me doing a recipe and then somebody following it, but they do something wrong and then now they're sick and it can make you really, really sick. So I haven't been doing that because I don't really want that to happen to anybody. And it's something that I tend to just leave to the experts. Even when I go to Thailand, I don't tend to make that myself. And also a lot of times when you buy these things, they add chemicals like nitrates to ensure that it does not make you sick. So if you're open to adding chemicals like that, then it would be better. It would be a little bit more of a comfort thing, but generally I try not to go there. And then there's another one, Khanom Jin Nam Myeo. It's a rice noodle dish with sauce on it, but it requires these special flours that I haven't even seen in Bangkok, let alone here in Canada. It's a northern dish. So that I have. And so things like that, like there's dishes like that where it requires a specific ingredient that's like regional, nobody can really get it here. So I try not to do those. Okay, Adam.
Okay, post for vegetarian recipe for Nam Kutio. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
You know what it is.
Next.
Okay. Biggest change in life after becoming a mom.
Oh. Biggest change in everything. Biggest change in life after becoming a mom. Like my life focus has changed completely. It's like now I think so much more about him and what he needs and what he's doing and whereas before it was about my life and what do I want to do with my life, now it's not so much about me and about, okay, it's about him and how do I work my life around him. I have, by the way, for the record, loved being a mom so much. Not to say that it has been easy. It has been hard. And he's a good baby, but he's not a not challenging baby. He's very passionate. He's a very passionate baby. He's got a lot of feelings. So he's not easy. So it's been incredibly hard, but I have so much enjoyed the experience, like experiencing unconditional love that completely took me by surprise, like how much I love him. It was shocking to me. And it made me look at my mom differently, and like it has made me look at all the other moms in my life very differently. So yeah, so it's been great. Okay.
Can I ask a really quick question?
Sure.
It's a really, really common, quick question. Generally, it's allergen-free, as in shellfish soy sauce, soy-free sauces I can use in place of soy sauce, Golden Mountain, black soy sauce, oyster sauce, that kind of thing.
Soy-free?
Shellfish/soy-free. I mean, shellfish is one question. And then soy-free is the second, I guess.
Okay, if a recipe calls for soy sauce and you can't have soy, use fish sauce. Fish sauce is awesome.
The second problem. There's a second question about soy, Golden Mountain, and oyster sauce in particular, I guess. It's shellfish.
But fish sauce isn't shellfish.
No.
You can have
oyster sauce.
A substitute for oyster sauce? Yeah. They make vegetarian oyster sauce. And out there in the supermarket, they make vegetarian version of everything. So, but whether or not it's good is a different question, right? Like, I think vegetarian oyster sauce is actually okay, but it is soy-based. A vegetarian fish sauce has not been good. Like, I feel like if you are vegetarian and you want to substitute fish sauce, just use a good soy sauce. It's going to be different, but it's still going to be good. Like the vegetarian fish sauce out there haven't been good in my experience. There are recipes that you can make your own vegetarian fish sauce, like online. I don't know how well they go, but I think bottom line is fish is not a flavor you can replicate using not fish, right? So at the end of the day, it's not going to be the same, but what you're looking for is you want some umami and you want some saltiness. Right. So that's why I think soy sauce is a straightforward, easy substitute. But if you want something different from soy sauce, then there's online recipes for that. And I think they use pineapple in vegetarian fish sauce. Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite Thai food to cook at home? So this brings up an interesting point where, because given what I do, I'm always like coming up with new recipes. So it's actually very rare that I make the same dishes like again and again. Because I'm always working on the next thing. So I don't have like, oh, this is my regular go-to thing that I make, except my husband loves cashew chicken. So that's something that I revisit probably more often than other things. And it's my favorite thing to make at home because of how much he loves it. And, you know, when you cook, a part of what makes cooking so good is how other people receive your food, right? So if somebody just loves this thing that you make, like it makes you want to make it that much more. So that definitely is something that I have made multiple times. And also lap. I make lap more often because it's so easy and it's so good and it goes with everything. So there you go. Okay, Adam.
Oh, okay.
And yes, there is cashew chicken on my YouTube channel. It's a very old recipe that needs to be updated, but it's a very good recipe. Exactly as is. So.
Right. By the way, everyone, I mean, there are, I don't know, certainly over 100 questions. So I'm sorry, you're probably not going to be able to get to them all. I'm just doing them in order as much as I can. So sorry about that, everyone, but that's, we'll have to do it again.
Thank you, Jiras, for your super chat. Garlic pepper pork. Eat it all the time. Thank you. Garlic pepper pork is amazing. Sorry, Adam.
Favorite podcast.
Favorite podcast? Okay, so I have a favorite food podcast. Well, a few, actually. I love The Sporkful. I love Gastropod. I love The Good Food. It's an LA-based podcast, but I just find it, so for a lot of things, it's a local thing, but I find it's really interesting. And also a mom podcast. I love One Bad Mother, which is hilarious. And it always makes me feel like I'm not alone in the struggle when I listen to One Bad Mother podcast. Yeah. And and I also have like a parenting podcast that I started listening to called Unruffled. Khan's a little young for that right now, but I'm preparing. I'm preparing for the stage where there's going to be a lot more fighting going on. So, okay, I'm going back to one of my pre-questions. I have seen canned green jackfruit in brine. What is that? Well, it is exactly what you just said. It is green jackfruit. And green jackfruit is basically young jackfruit. And we use young jackfruit in soups and curries. It's really, really soft. My grandmother actually makes a really good version of that. I didn't like it as a kid, but now when I go home, I'm like, oh, this stuff isn't that bad. And when you cook jackfruit, it's really soft. And a lot of modern vegetarians are now using young jackfruit as a meat substitute, like because it's got that shreddy look, kind of like pulled pork, I guess. So I've seen like pulled jackfruit sold on the market. It has a relatively neutral flavor, so it takes on whatever flavor you give it. But yeah, that's what that is. You would use that for like curries and soups and whatnot. Okay, Adam.
Can I make caramelized egg and pork to eat with rice?
Can you?
Have you ever heard of
I don't know. Can you? Sure. Anything can be eaten with rice.
Well, but what's caramelized egg?
I don't know. I don't know what caramelized egg is. I know what caramelized. I've heard of caramelized pork. It's pork that's cooked in sort of like you caramelize palm sugar and soy sauce, and you cook the pork in that. I think it's a Vietnamese dish originally. Caramelized egg, I don't know, but it sounds good.
Do you have there would be, someone's asking for non-spicy recommendations for Thai food outside of pad siu, sanenlai, tom kha.
Maybe I'll make a playlist of like
Exactly.
Yeah. But also like any recipe that I just add chilies, you can just not add chilies, right? Like unless it's like curries, obviously, but like I make salads and I add Thai chilies, you can just not add those, right? So as long as the chili itself isn't some sort of a main component, as in a curry paste, I have a super chat coming from Josh. Thank you, by the way. How long did it take you to lose the Thai accent? That's interesting. And I want to go back and talk about how I learned English to begin with. So when I was 12, my parents sent me to New Zealand to stay with a homestay family and study there. And when I went, I spoke very little English. I was closer to 13, maybe. I spoke very little English, and I went, and it was a struggle. Oh my God. I remember like the first couple of weeks of school, I had no idea what was going on. And I thought, that's it. I'm not going to make it. I'm just like, this is the end. But then being young and being just kind of forced into that situation, I just kind of slowly learned the language. And I was not conscious of how I started speaking English. I just know that by the end of that year, I was there for 1 year, I was almost fluent, but I wasn't conscious of how that happened. I guess that's what happens when you're really young. So then I had a full-on Kiwi accent by the end of that. And apparently, I did not have any Thai accent left at all. And then I came back to Thailand, and then my parents put me into an international school that was mostly American. Like most of the teachers were American and Canadian, so most teachers spoke in American English. And again, I was not conscious of how this happened, but my accent then slowly morphed into basically what it is now. I remember I didn't know about accents. I remember somebody said that, oh, you have a Kiwi accent. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because to me, English was English. I didn't know English sounded different from different countries. And so next thing you know, I have an American/Canadian accent that I had no idea how it got there. And apparently a teacher did mention to me at one point, she asked me, where did you learn your English? Because apparently my accent was sort of in transition, and she couldn't place where it was from, like going from New Zealand to like a American Canadian accent. But when I told her, oh, I learned it in New Zealand, she went, oh, that makes sense. Which again, at the time, I was like, what do you mean it makes sense? Like, what are you talking about? My English is just like everybody else. So there. Okay, let's go to one of the other pre-questions. Where did I live in California? I lived in San Francisco, and then I spent a little bit of time in San Jose. And this person wanted to know which Thai restaurants and grocery stores I think are the best in San Jose. But when I was in San Jose, I was working in a restaurant, and I worked so much that I went nowhere. So I don't know where all the good restaurants are because I never went to any other restaurant except my own. And yeah, like it's all a blur. My time in San Jose is all a blur. I don't know what happened. It was so hard. It was very challenging. Okay, Adam.
Have you ever made your own Vietnamese dish, or what's your favorite Vietnamese dishes? I know you've done one.
Yeah, we've done a few on the channel. And thank you, Kin Gricha, for the super chat. What have I done that's Vietnamese? I've done a banh mi. I've done a shaking beef. What's my favorite Vietnamese dish? A lot of things. I love Vietnamese food. Can't really think of anything right now, though. I'm blanking. Sorry. I love everything. Like with Vietnamese food, it's just like, give me anything. I'll like it.
Well,
Thank you, JD, for super chat. 1 second.
There's sort of been a theme, a couple.
1 second, sorry, Adam. Sorry. Hold on. There's a super chat that I don't want to lose. JD is asking what kind of Thai herbs and veg can be grown indoors. I'm so sorry, JD. I am the last person you want to talk to about growing plants. Like, I have miserably failed at every single attempt to grow plants, especially indoors. So I cannot help you in any way, shape, or form. I've got a rosemary right here and a little mini Christmas tree right here. And I chose rosemary because apparently you can't kill them. So we'll see. They've been around for a couple of months now. So looking good so far.
Okay, well, I'm deleting that question. I have that one.
Oh, you have that one?
Yeah, so I mean, on the same theme of Vietnamese, favorite French food, and are you going to make some French desserts?
I just made some profiteroles not too long ago, but I made them Thai style. I made Thai style, what we call eclair, but they're really profiteroles filled with like this rich custard. I will have a recipe on that when we get back to filming again, whenever that is.
The question then along that line is it going to be the book translated into French or Thai or anything like that? Any talk about translation?
Book, that's not something that's not a decision I make. That's book being translated in another language is a decision that the publisher will make based on, I guess, demand. And my guess is that it's not going to happen just because cookbooks are rarely translated. And it's probably most of the sales are in English speaking countries. So I'm guessing it's not going to happen. Yeah. So somebody asked how long have I been in the US? I'm not in the US. I'm in Canada. And I came to Canada in 2003. I was in the US for a couple of years in San Francisco. Okay, Adam.
Are you going to make any of your videos in Thai?
You know, I have always wanted to do that. So maybe. But then if I did that, then I'd have to sit there and type all the subtitles for the video. So that would be a lot of work. But it's not out of the question. And I have thought about doing it. I think it would be hard for me because I've never tried to explain cooking in Thai. So I think it would be a fun challenge. But yes, it is not out of the question. I've thought about it a lot, actually. Okay, another pre-question. Is there some kind of a medicinal soup dish to keep immunities up, to keep you from catching colds and things? You know, in Thai cuisine, they have a lot of dishes that are just full of herbs, and they, oh, this is good for you because it's herbs. But it's like, what does that mean? It's good for you. It's like, it's nourishing. It's whatever. Like, and I'm always like, okay, until I see a scientific paper that tells me this is actually going to help boost my immune system, I'm not buying it. But it makes you feel good to eat soup that tastes like there's a lot of herbs in it. So I would say, eat a tom yum, a tom ka, like a tom ka gai, tom yum. Like that just makes you feel good. And if you feel good, maybe your immune system will be in better shape too. Thank you, Thomas, for your super chat. Please open a restaurant in New York City. I'm done with restaurants, you guys. And by the way, thank you, Luando, as well, for your super chat. Stay safe. Yes, you too. Thank you. No, but people ask me this a lot. Are you going to open a restaurant? No, probably not. Maybe eventually, but I've been there, and I really feel like my passion is in teaching people how to cook Thai food, and not so much like cooking Thai food for people. The restaurant work was I loved it for what it was. I learned a lot. I gained a lot of experience, and I think it definitely made me a much, much better teacher. But I think my heart is with teaching Thai cooking, so probably not a restaurant. Unless somebody wants to run it and then I can like do a menu for them, I'd be open to that. I just don't want to run an actual restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. More like a subcontracting thing and branding and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. And then thank you, Michael, for your super chat. He's asking, seriously, has Adam lost weight due to the lack of being able to film? No, Adam's been losing weight, but not because of inability to film. He's been going on a diet.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on some sort of a low carb diet, so he's not eating as much of my food as he used to.
Yes. All those lovely noodles and rice. I miss rice.
Yes. Okay. More from you, Adam.
Sure. Followed your rice noodle recipe. It always turns out having a sandy texture. What am I doing? What's going wrong? Am I overcooking it? This is the rice noodle recipe, apparently.
I wonder if you're using not the correct rice flour. So if you're using a brand of rice flour that's not Asian, like that's not from Thailand, I have seen rice flour that's more coarse, and it's like a Bob's Red Mill or something that's not an Asian brand, and they make rice flour to serve a different purpose than Asian rice flour. So I wonder if that's it, because of all the problems that you could have, sandy shouldn't be one of them. And overcooking isn't going to make it sandy. So, yeah. Okay, one from me. I think I'm almost done with pre-questions. How do you prepare and preserve papaya salad sauce in bigger batches? Actually, this is an interesting question, and then this would apply to a lot more dishes. I remember when I used to work in restaurants, and we used to like cater a large batch of papaya salad dressing. I made the dressing in a blender, and we're talking like enough dressing that I would need a blender. So I put garlic, chilies, and dried shrimp, and all the liquids like lime juice, fish sauce, and all that stuff in the blender and blend it up. And then I would toss it with all the vegetables later on. I would take the tomatoes and mash it up a bit, because in papaya salad, you want the tomatoes to release their juice, be a little bit bruised, so that the tomato juice mixed with the dressing, and then it's, So that's what I would do. Large batches, make the dressing separately, in a blender or in a mortar and pestle if it's not too big, and then tossed it separately in a big serving platter, and then mixing bowl. And papaya salad lasts a long time in the fridge, so it's a great salad to do in advance. In fact, it tastes better once it's chilled in the fridge. Can sticky rice be frozen? I'll just address this right now. Yes, it can. It can.
Yeah, there are going to be some lightning questions. I think we'll have a lightning round at the end here.
Okay.
That are quick. Do you have a legendary ultimate cooking recipe?
What? What's a legendary ultimate cooking recipe?
Like hot Thai chicken?
Oh, yeah, hot Thai chicken. Legendary ultimate recipe. You go on my website and look up hot Thai chicken. It's the best fried chicken you've ever had. My brother actually came to visit. I made him hot Thai chicken, and he literally said, we need to sell this. We need a food truck. He's like, next thing you know, he's got a whole business plan of how we're going to sell hot Thai chicken. But yeah. Did somebody just give me $100 of super chat? Thank you so much. I hope that wasn't a mistake. I'm sorry. I think if you meant to do 10 as opposed to 100, I would would be totally okay with that. Thank you. Dirk Schneider. Does Thai butchers cut meat differently from European butchers? I've had a lot of chewy steaks in Bangkok. My theory was that the meat is cut with Thai food in mind, where the meat is in smaller pieces. I think you wouldn't be wrong in that. Thai butchers do. I think Asian butchers in general do cut meat differently because like we're doing different things, right? And then in Thai food, we don't do steaks to begin with. So like tender meat isn't really, especially beef, isn't really top of mind for people because most of the time we thinly slice meat and then cooking it. So you're probably right. So if you are in Bangkok and you want to buy steak, I'd go to like a Western grocery store, like a Villa or something like that, where they sell Western style steaks, and then get a rib eye or a tenderloin if you want to avoid chewy. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Adam.
Someone said, why is Isan sausage superior and can you make it?
Oh, this is the one I was just talking about, how I refuse to make it for liability issues. It's superior because it's fermented. So it's pork with rice and garlic and seasoning, and you let it sit for like a couple of days until it's sour. It's superior because it's delicious, but I won't make it. Because I don't want you all to get sick if you don't do it properly.
Another question on, can you narrate the video in Thai?
That's interesting.
I mean, I guess, or subtitles?
I mean, can I? Sure. But it's just like, it's so much work, you guys. It's so much work. Like, it's a lot of work to film and to edit and all that stuff already. Like, doing subtitles and things like that is, especially like for me to like dub it. Yeah, that would be hard.
Someone else maybe.
Thank you, Kimmy, for your $19.99 super chat. Kimmy Kyokaji. Hi, Pipai. My family owns a Thai restaurant in PA, Pennsylvania, in Pa. I was like, what? And we're still open for business, but we're not sure we should stay open because of the COVID-19. What do you think? I think for restaurants, if you can stay open and you are really, really like strict with sanitation practices, I would for the cooks to wear masks and gloves. And wearing masks will do two things. Like, it's not like a foolproof thing, but it prevents you from accidentally touching your face, right? And also, if you sneeze or cough or whatever, like, it holds stuff back. So if you can't financially close, I would say stay open and be very transparent with customers that this is what we're doing to prevent cross-contamination. And if any employees have been traveling, have had any contact, like, they're not working at all. So I think if you're strict enough with it, you'll be okay. I think you can stay open and do takeouts and delivery. Just spray everything down with alcohol. Thank you. More super chats from Mongkonrat, a Thai person. Thank you. I have a question on super chat. With my authentic pad Thai ×2, after ×10, I can't get time prep and cook. Most of the time it's light frying fresh tofu your time. I'm not sure I understand this question. With your authentic pad Thai ×2, 4 servings, after 10 times, I can't get time to be less than 70 minutes. Oh, I got it. Good. Most of the time it's light frying fresh tofu. Well, yeah. So pad Thai is a time-consuming dish to prep for. What I like to do if I know I'm making pad Thai is I just spread out the prep. Like, I'll soak noodles like even the day before. I don't use fresh tofu. I use pressed tofu so that I don't have to fry it. I don't think it takes me 70 minutes, but it's not something that's quick. This is why we don't make pad Thai at home, you guys. If you want to make it legit, it's a lot of ingredients. It's a lot of prep. It's a lot of chopping. And then when you cook it, you can't really cook a big batch. You might have to separate it in 2 batches. So it's just one of those dishes that is time consuming. What you can do, if you have like a little food chopper or whatever, you can just blitz the garlic, the shallots, and the dried shrimp and the radish in a little food processor to make it go faster, you could do that too. So thank you, Hooked on Phonics, for your super chat. If you were to open a restaurant with only 10 Thai dishes, what would they be? Hot Thai chicken, Hat Yai fried chicken. I would make some sort of a lab. I would do pad thai, and my God, like, you know why I would do pad thai? Because I am so frustrated by the lack of good pad thai in other restaurants. Like, I just don't know what, it's just it is the one dish that I refuse to get in Thai restaurants because they're just not as good. I just don't know why. Like, they'll do other things really well, and then you come to pad thai and it's like, man. So I think I'd put pad thai on the menu. I think it's a lot of ingredients to make it legit. And so I think a lot of people will leave things out. And they don't use, like, say, for example, they wouldn't use 100% palm sugar for cost. They would use granulated sugar, for example.
Right.
Or they'd put ketchup or whatever in it. So I do pad thai. I definitely do some sort of, I do a shrimp paste fried rice. It's my favorite. I do khao man gai, which is Hainanese chicken rice. And maybe I do
you need an appy and a dessert.
I do agar jelly just because it's like what I'm apparently known for. I'm not sure how that happened, but an appy, Muping would be like a barbecue pork skewers. Is that 10? Close enough.
No, but
but close enough.
We're not counting.
Okay, Adam.
Preserve Gai Lan.
Sorry?
Michael asks, how to preserve Gai Lan?
Oh.
Can it be preserved?
No. But you know what I will tell you is this applies to all vegetables. If something has been sitting in your fridge and it's starting to look like it's gonna go and you don't have any plans for it, it's like, oh, this is gonna go bad too soon, cook it. Once you cook it, it will last you at least 7 more days, right? So cooking something, it's even if you're not going to eat it, just like blanch it, boil it, like do something, just cook it. It will stop the rotting process. And now it's become cooked food, which will last you at least 7 days. And then you can like stir fry it or whatever after. But yeah, cooking something will give you that extra time. Yeah.
Do you ever use packets such as Lobo brand?
I used to do for Lobo, I used to use their curry paste. Actually, it was one of the when I was in Thailand, I used Lobo curry paste a lot. But now, like their seasoning packets, no, I don't use. I only use like curry paste. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. I know the answer to this. It just came out. Pok Pok. We've been there.
Yeah, Adam and I actually went to Pok Pok.
Yeah. Did you answer the question on substitute for soy sauce in fried rice? Oyster sauce in fried rice. Oyster sauce.
But substitute for because of why?
I'm guessing allergies.
Like a shellfish allergy. You can buy vegetarian oyster sauce.
Okay.
But a lot of times it'll say vegetarian stir fry sauce, but it'll have the consistency of oyster sauce.
Yeah. Someone's asking about agar-agar. They get it in the long sticks as opposed to the powder. What's the best way to get precise amounts of this type of agar-agar for your recipes?
I would weigh it. But I don't provide weight. I think 2 teaspoons, there's weight somewhere. I feel like 2 teaspoons of agar-agar is 4 grams. So what you would do then is you would weigh it, like blitz it in like a coffee grinder and then weigh that. Yeah, but you can get agar-agar online as well in powder form.
So someone says, I liked fresh cilantro during quarantine, but how can I get it? Can I get it without getting from the shop? Any puree or any recipe to make it fresh for a long time? In other words, is there such a thing as, I don't know, powdered cilantro? Or any way to get it that isn't fresh that you can use?
No, not that I know of. But what you could do is make like a cilantro pesto type thing where you would blend it with oil. And then that will freeze well. And then you can just like add that to things. I think there's people cringing right now, like people who hate cilantro, like, you want to do what?
Why would you do that?
Thank you, Miss Highwing, for your super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. I don't know when we're going to be filming again. My husband was sick last week. I'm not feeling particularly well today. I don't know if it does not feel like COVID, but I just don't feel great. So just gonna kind of lay it low and see. And I've run out of videos. Like I've got nothing. So
right. We can do a whole bunch of these because there's so many questions.
We can do more live. Yeah, we can do more live.
There's so many questions.
Okay,
we're just not going to get
we're coming up to almost an hour. My goodness. Let's take a couple more, Adam, and then we'll be.
How long can you keep open bottle fish sauce?
Open bottle of fish sauce in the fridge, it'll last you indefinitely. Fish sauce doesn't go bad in the sense that like it doesn't ever, spoil, but eventually the flavor won't be as nice. But in the fridge, it'll last like indefinitely. Thank you so much for our Miss 32 for your happy birthday wish to Khan. Thank you.
Oh,
thank
you. By the way, the 100 was actually Swedish krona. So FYI.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
not US dollars.
I thought that was strange. I was
Thank you everyone for pointing that out.
Because it was also not like a dollar sign. So okay. I just want to make sure you didn't like accidentally like put an extra zero.
I know it's easy to do.
Thank you, Brayson. Can you make good Thai tea without any powder mix? So Thai tea, that powder mix is not like a powder mix. It's just Thai tea leaves that have had flavor added to it. That flavor is vanilla. For some brands anyway. I think different brands are different. So what you could do is use a strong like orange pico tea and then add vanilla to it. It won't be orange like Thai food, but it would be close enough. But you need a lot. Like you need to make a very, very strong orange pico tea. Yeah. But it's like, I know it says powder mix on the back. It's not like a powder mix. It's just tea leaves that have had flavors infused and food coloring added to it to make it orange. Food coloring.
Another theme, Indian food. Do you like biryani?
I love Indian food. I love Indian food so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've only made one, right?
I made butter chicken. I made chicken biryani, but that was a Thai style one.
Right.
I feel like that's the only one I've made. But I love Indian food. I love saag. Saag paneer is one of my favorites.
When you were working in a Western kitchen, what exactly did you do? What station were you assigned to? What dishes you prepared? I think you were a manager, weren't you?
No, in a Western kitchen, in the beginning, I was in a catering. So in catering, and so we just made like whatever came. Like you start out in cold foods, so like salad rolls and things like that, and then eventually we got to hot food. So I did. In catering, it's interesting because you're cooking food to be served later, so you're doing a lot of like prep. And then I did work off-site as well, like at the venue where you're basically reheating and serving. So that was where I started. And then I worked in a steakhouse where I was in appetizers and then saute. So it was fryer, garde-manger, which is cold, and then in the saute station. And then up from saute, there was a grilling station, which I did not do. I also didn't want it. Like grilling steaks is so stressful, right? Like every night I'd see steaks come back and like the cook would be so stressed out because they have to make all these steaks according to, all these doneness that people are asking for. And you got like 10 steaks on the grill. Like, oh, it's just so much stress. And it's also, I don't know, like restaurants are not like, this wouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but it's like a sexist place. So like at a grilling station, you rarely see women make it there. Like oftentimes they'll put women in like desserts or like cold. So yeah, restaurants not the best for equal opportunity work. Although interestingly, in the catering, there was tons and tons of women that was working there. So thank you, Maggie, for your super chat. That's such a cute sticker. Okay, I think we'll take one last question and then that'll be it. Adam, choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Responsibility. Okay, this is kind of cool because I experienced this in Brazil. From Charles, are Thai people allowed to take fruits and vegetables growing in nature?
What?
This happened in Brazil because you walk down the street and there are fruit trees all over the place.
Oh, well, that doesn't happen in Thailand, at least in Bangkok anyway. Like, I guess in the countryside, you could, but I've never seen free fruits and vegetables that you can just grab off the street.
Yeah, I guess in the countryside.
In the countryside, which I wouldn't know. I don't know what the protocol would have been, but like when I grew up in the South, it was pretty chill. We had mango trees and stuff like that growing, and houses didn't have fences or anything. So theoretically, you could just go in and like get people's fruit, but no, like you didn't do that.
Okay, real quick.
So like don't go in and like grab people's fruits. Okay.
Probably not.
It's not okay.
Do you like bitter melon soup?
No, I hate bitter melon. Absolutely hate bitter melon. It is the one ingredient that I refuse to eat. Oh my God, I don't like bitter. Like, it's bitter. Why are we eating bitter food? I don't understand.
Okay, favorite Thai restaurant in Vancouver?
My new favorite is Anchai. It's a small place, Anchai on Burrard and 5th. I just had food from them yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, they're really good.
Well, didn't tell me about this.
I want to support them because I don't want them to go out of business.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good ones you want to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you growing your hair long again?
Am I growing my hair long again? Yes. Yes. I keep cutting it, and I keep regretting cutting it because I always just it's so much harder to deal with short hair because you can't tie it up on a bad hair day. And so like every day has to be good hair day. So I'm just like, I'm done with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we're done.
There's still tons.
There's tons of questions.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
It's all his fault. If your question wasn't chosen, it's Adam's fault.
Send your complaints to Adam.
Adam at hotthighkitchen.com.
That's right. Literally. Yeah.
Well,
we'll do it again.
Well,
soon.
Thank you, everyone, so much for all of your support being here, for all your super chat, and for watching the video. If you don't see a new video coming from me, just go back and watch old videos. I got like 500 of them. So. 500. Yeah, and I think once Adam's been quarantined for a couple weeks and he's not sick, and I've been quarantined a couple weeks and I'm not sick, I think we'll probably go back to filming. But yeah, we want to be safe, right? And I wish everybody to stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, wash your hands. It's the same old, but like, don't be careless, because you never know whether you're a carrier. This is why I'm nervous, right? Like, my in-laws are older, and I know that they're going to be one of those people who would be hit hard. And I have contact with my in-laws, so I'm like really careful to make sure that, like, okay, if there's any questions at all, like, I'm not seeing you as much as like they would love to see Khan right now. Craig was sick last week. I'm like, no, you're not seeing baby right now. Let's just FaceTime. Just don't want to take any risks. So I hope you're all doing very well. That's it. Adam, any last words before we go?
No, I'm good. A couple of people have asked about Iron Chef, and I've already texted that I know you don't want to compete in Iron Chef. Too stressful, too much work. I
don't like competitive cooking shows in general. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be on one of them. Like, cooking to me is not supposed to be stressful. It's not supposed to be competitive. The very idea of competing on like who's got better food, like it's just not my thing. Like, I understand it's good entertainment or whatever, but like that's not why I cook. And I don't want cooking to be a source of stress for me. So people have contacted me to like go on competitive cooking shows in the past, and I was like, no thanks. I'd host it. I'd be happy to host it.
Make the other people cry.
Yeah, like I judge it, but like I wouldn't do it. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Take good care, and I will see you soon. And always remember, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter if you wanna say hi. Bye, everyone.
Cheers,
Adam,
everyone.
say bye. Bye.
See See you later.